New stuff. Let's go. Here's the scenario. If I'm going to put that scenario on a graph, I must decide on what two things. I know it's Monday morning, but somebody remembers something from the last week. Yes, Amelia. I must decide on my independent and my dependent variable. And what, pray tell, would those things be? What are the two things that are being counted? Addison, yes, we're playing charades now.
Oh, next one? Next one?
Oh, I see. Time and money. Which one is independent? Time. Which means it goes where? On the X. And what's the dependent? I would say cost. And it goes on the Y. Now, what is time measured in? In this scenario? Days. Excellent. So we always want to put what we're measuring in, yes? Because if I just put numbers here, they could mean anything, yeah? Can I go past 7? Read the question. Can I go past 7? Why not, Gersa Hill? Because this data is only good to a maximum of 7 days. Yeah? Yeah. What is cost measured in? Dollars. It's not measured in shekels. It's not measured in euros. It's not measured in riads. It's not measured in pesos, thank you. Rupees. Yen. Won. Yuans. Pounds. Huh? How many currencies are there? Well, there's 192 countries, but a crap ton of them use dollars, and a crap ton of them use the euro. And not too many use pesos, actually. Pesos aren't... Mexico uses pesos. No, I don't think the Dominican... Do they? Dominican. Cuba does not use pesos. I do not think. Do they? Okay. Yeah, because they also have Cuba dollars. Yeah. Anyways. 180 different kinds of currency. There you go. That's more than I would have thought. All right. So, let's put some data on our graph. $65 per day for the first 3 days. So, if I walk in there right now and ask to rent a car, and they say, okay, how much money do I have to give them? $65. That covers me for 1 day, yes? What time is it right now? It's 10:13 in the morning of day 1. So I pay $65, and when will they insist I bring the car back? 10:13 tomorrow, right? 24 hours. If I bring it back at 10:16 tomorrow, am I into the second day? So do I pay? Technically, do I pay? Would they make me pay? Most likely not. But we got to go with our data, yes? So if I walk in there for this whole first day, I am paying $65. Agreed? Now, let's talk. What kind of dots do I need to put here? Open or closed? On both ends of this need to be closed? So if I rent a car for 0 days, I got to pay him $65? So this one's open. What's this one? Closed. Everybody agree? Technically speaking, if I go 1 second past 10:13, what do I owe them? Another whole day, yeah? So, 65 for the first day. What's the next day going to be at? 130, agreed? Open or close dot at 1. You got a 50-50 shot. Remember what? Oh, you guys didn't go to the... You guys did go to the financial thing, didn't you? No, you didn't. Open dot. Why, Pardeep? Because day 1 is 65. I don't pay the next until I go just past day 1, yes? So this line goes out to day 2. What kind of dot's at 2? Closed. What happens on day 3? How much do I go up to? 195. Open or closed at day 2? Open, line, then what? Closed. Nice. Now something weird happens here. What happens now? So what's my next range value? 225. But still open, closed. Then what? 255. Open, closed. Then 285. Open, closed. And then 315. Open, closed. Everyone agree? Everyone agree that's how my graph should look? That's what I have data for, yes? Okay. That's my graph. I'm very happy with that. You draw that graph, you get 4 out of 4. Everybody good? Let's answer some questions about it. Should I join the points on the graph? Well, what are my options? I could do this. Agreed? Okay. Why is that even a possibility? Because I'm joining values that exist, yes? Okay. Is this one even a possibility, the green line? Why not? Because those values don't technically exist, do they? They're open dots. All right, so that one's out. What about this? Gray lines. What about those? Ryland says no. Why not? You're connecting one that exists to one that doesn't exist. That's one good reason. Does anybody have another good reason why I wouldn't have a straight up and down line on a graph that has time? Time doesn't stop. Excellent. So it can't be the gray one. It can't be the green one. So the only thing left is this red one. Does that make any sense? Yes or no? How many people think the red line is the line I should draw? How many people think I should draw no more lines? Because that's another option. I should have given you all the options. How many of you think that is correct? How many people didn't bother to vote? It's just like voting for our government in Canada. 38% of the people don't even bother to vote, but look on Facebook, they all got an opinion. So, of course, we cannot draw this line. Oh, shoot, that's supposed to be red. We cannot draw this red line. Does anybody want to guess why? Gersil. Pardon me?
We would need another line to mimic it.
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
We would have to have another line on it.
Like, you would have to draw this line then? Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay. Not quite. Anybody got another guess? Not quite, but you're on the right track, I think. Amelia. That's why. What do I pay if I rent the car for one day? $65. What do I pay if I go past one day? Another 65, pay 130, yeah? If I draw that red line and I rent the car for a day and a half, wouldn't that mean I would be paying somewhere between there? Do I pay somewhere between there? No. So I can't even connect that line. This is done. Everybody cool? Now, Jacqueline, you had your hand up for a while there. Did I answer your question? Okay. So, should the points be connected? No. Why or why not? because there's no output values. Put values between days. Are there? I can only pay 65, 130, 195, 225, 255, 285, or 315. Yes? Everybody understand? All right. Is it a function? Yes or no? It is. Why? Each input has a unique output. Yes? Some people say, yeah, but what about right there? There's a vertical line. Hits it twice. Does it really? No, because that's an open dot. Does that dot really exist? No. So yes, it's a function. Why? Because each possible input, what are my possible inputs? What are my inputs? Pardon me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. Each possible input, which is a day, gets a unique output. No matter what day, no matter the amount of time I say, I'm always going to pay a different amount, yes? If we all go into this place and rent cars, we are all going to know what we're going to pay because it's unique. If I rent it for 3 days, I'm paying $195. Everybody good? Now, the last one is a little bit tricky. What is my domain? And I do my domains in blue. It is just the days. So what's the least amount of days that I could have? 0. Yeah? Do I actually hit 0? Is there a value at 0? So it would be less than, what would I put here? Up till now, we've been putting X, yes? But we're not going to put X this time because we know what our domain is. What is it? Days. Up to a maximum of what? Can I hit 7? Now, here's where it gets strange. The way this is written is 1.5 days an input. If I go to 1.5, do I get an output value? I do, don't I? So, is this going to be days are a set of real numbers? Can I put all the fractions in of those days and get an output? Yes or no? Choose a number. Say any number between 1 and 7, including some decimals. Say one. Anybody. What?
4.3.
So that would be about right there, yeah? 4.3. Go up. Do I have an output? So is this right? Is it okay to say real numbers? It is, isn't it? Everybody good? Okay. What's my range? What are my range values? 0, because I may not rent the car. What's the next range value? Some of you want to do this, right? Don't write that down. Some of you want to do that, right? Okay. So, is there a range value of $110? Where would 110 be? Between 65 and 130, yes? Is there a range value there? Did that red line hit my graph anywhere? So can I write it this way? No. But I do need 0 and I need 315, don't I? So how do I write it when it's just a bunch of dots? What do I have to do? List it. 65. Then what? 130, 195, 225, 255, 285, then 315. Squiggly brackets. Does everybody understand why I have to list the range, but I can do the domain in that? Everyone's cool? All right. Now we get to the title of today's lesson, discrete or continuous data, or data, depending on what you like to say. You should be able to figure out which one of these two things, my domain and my range, is discrete and which one is continuous. Which one do you think is continuous? Ursula. Pardon? Cost. And Braden, you say time. All right. It's court. Argue. Why do you say it's cost?
Because for days, it has a maximum of 7 days.
Okay.
But on the graph, of like the data we're given, it doesn't say there's a maximum of cost.
Okay. What's your counter?
It does have a maximum cost. Because on the 7th day, you only pay
But it doesn't say
$115.
it doesn't say if you pay a maximum of 50. You get tips.
Okay, the rest of the class is the jury. Which is discrete and which is continuous? Who convinced you, Gersa Hill or Braden?
Pick me.
Pardon me? You think the cost is discrete? Okay, we'll do it this way. How many people are in Gersa Hill's corner where he says cost is continuous? How many people are on Braden's side when he says time is continuous?
I win.
And just like Canada, how many people didn't bother to vote?
A lot.
Of course. Time is the continuous data. Here is why. Data can be two different things. And you don't have to write this down because this isn't math yet. Data can be qualitative or quantitative. Yes, they are big words. What words do you hear in qualitative and quantitative? Quality and quantity. Excellent. Which one of those is easily converted into math class? Qualitative or quantitative? Why? Because quantities. Is Emma wearing a red hoodie? Is Carmen wearing a red hoodie?
It's red, but
Stop. Is that quantitative or qualitative? Qualitative. How can you tell me the level of redness on Emma's compared to Carmen's? Can you? Do you have the quantity of the pigment added to make those dyes? So can you tell me quantitatively which is redder? No. You cannot. But even by sight. How many of you have ever tried to buy paint for your room? How many kinds of white paint are there? What color are they? No.
Eggshell.
Coral. No, eggshell's a finish, but coral. Right? Right? Alpine snow. Right? Right? Sunshine on frost. Right? What is it all? White. Everybody understand? That is qualitative. Now let me ask you this. How tall are you? Oh, just say a reasonable number. 5. 5'4". How tall are you, Carmen? Pardon me? 5'1". Who's taller? Jaden. No. Emma, why? Because height is quantitative, right? Everybody understand? Okay.
6'1".
Okay. Seriously, folks. Okay. So, all data is either quantitative or qualitative. Everybody cool?
Yes.
And in math class, we got to throw out qualitative, don't we?
Sure.
Right? Because is your white paint whiter than my white paint?
Positive.
Right? So quantitative's out the window. So now we're back to qualitative, yes? Everybody agrees? Yeah? Okay. Qualitative data is then further split into discrete and continuous. All right? Now, if I were to ask you all to tell me your height right now. Jaden, what's your height?
6'1".
Excellently done. Good job. We would all have different heights. Yes? Everyone agree?
Some depends.
No. We would all have, if we measured down to, the millimeter,
Then yes.
we would have, most of us would have different heights, yes? That is an example of discrete data because you all have your own height. All right? Okay? So discrete data is data which we can count. Please underline or highlight count. Now this is going to get weird. If I make a list of all of your heights, if I just make a list, those are counted, so it is discrete, yes? But for you personally, have you always had a height?
Yeah.
So what does that make it if I am counting just you personally? Then it would be continuous, because continuous data is data which we measure. Does everybody feel they can understand the difference? Let me give you another example. First of all, what's data? We got to remember what that is. What does data mean in math class? Information, yes? Okay. How many kids are in this room? Did you count that or measure it? Count, right? Because if you go 1, 2, 3, that's counting, yes? So is kids in the room discrete or continuous data? Discrete, because it's counted. Everybody cool? Yeah? Everyone's good?
Yes.
Okay. How long are you in this room? I agree. Is that counted or measured? Measured. So what's time? Continuous or discrete? Continuous. Picking up what I'm putting down? Okay, so again, let's go back to height. Right now, do you have a height? Is that a piece of discrete data or continuous data? Your height right now. It's discrete. Have you always had a height? From age 0 to age 14, 15, 16. Your age is then what? Continuous because it is measured. Everybody understand? We're going to do a bunch of examples because the best way to see this is through examples. Now, there's other stuff we can put in here. For example, in this essay, in this graph we just did, there is this data for time, yes? And there is this data for cost, right? Which is measured? Time. Because, so since time is measured, it's continuous, yes? Now let me ask you this. If I choose any value from 0 to 7, can you tell me an output?
Yes.
You can, can't you? 5.3 days. Do you know how much it's going to cost me to rent the car? I go up to 5.3, I go up, and I know, yes? So there is a continuous output for every input, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. What about cost? Is it a continuous line up here? No, what is it?
You're good for this Friday?
Yes. It's discrete. Why?
Because if you can't pay for half of it.
You can't pay any amount but those. Everybody understand? All right, so let's do some examples, see if we can really figure it out. So 1, I want the IV and the DV, and I want if it's discrete or continuous and why. So just look at the first one. I got an IV, I got the DV. You tell me which is which. Talk to your neighbor, go ahead. It's all the same thing, so. What's my IV, what's my DV? Emma, I'm going to wait till you've stopped with the eyebrows before I actually call on you, because I can tell you're still thinking. Emma. You think the IV is temperature? And the DV is altitude? Jacqueline disagrees.
The IV is altitude because you can change your altitude yourself. It does not depend on how cold or hot the air.
There you go.
I agree with that.
You change your mind? She talked you out of it? Your IV is altitude, your DV is temp. And it is exactly what Jacqueline said, except I would have changed it around a little bit. Right now, we're down fairly close to sea level, yes? And it's like 10 degrees, yeah? What's it at the top of Mount Baker?
Very cold.
Damn cold, because it's still icy, right? So, your temperature depends upon your altitude. Now, this is a tricky one, because everybody says, well, Mr. Myers, we count height, but we don't count height, do we? For me to get from here to Mount Baker, can I teleport there? I wish. What would I have to do? I would have to pass through all of the altitude between now and Baker, yes? And what would I always have a temperature? So it's continuous. Remember, you have a cumulative tomorrow. No, none of this stuff. None of this graphing stuff. And the work that's it. You got no work.